Right guys, I'm walking back from the river now. So this is where we are, look. I probably eat the dogs in a moment. Right, so going back to UK England. So like I said, it's going to be quite a mean feat. What's going to happen is when I do sort immigration out, if I sort immigration out, score with immigration, let this guy get past. I think I'm on the best side. Good morning! Morning! Don't know if that guy's bought a fridge. Right, so I didn't sleep last night very good. I just couldn't sleep, too much energy. Right, so I just got too much energy, so I didn't sleep very well whatsoever. Then I was up early this morning, and then when I actually did fall asleep, it was light. And then about 2 hours later, an hour later, I got waking back up. So I didn't really sleep very well. Right, let me just watch this dog now. Morning! It's like everyone's on their phone. It's a good walk to Mercia. I think this is where pick-up point is for tricycle. This is where a few people actually do it. Morning! Back from Mercia. Morning! Right, so that's what I was actually thinking about. I was thinking, well, when I get back to England, it's not going to be really easy, is it? No way is it going to be very, very easy. Because a friend actually sent me a message on Facebook Messenger. When are you coming back home? And I've said in a previous video, I ain't got no home in England, but hopefully within next couple of months or so. And there won't be no videos, that's how I'll have disappeared. But wherever I am, whether I'm in immigration, detention centre, prison or what, I actually thought, well, when I get back to England, what's to do? It's not going to be very, very easy, is it? And by the sounds of it, England's got really, really big problems. Morning! England's got very, very big problems. But, I'm sure British consulate will have to deal with me being a UK citizen. And I ain't got a clue what'll happen, when I get back to England. I'm sure it's going to be one of these, have you got family? No. Have you got friends? No. Have you got anyone to send you money? No. So, I don't know what's going to happen. I get back to England, I don't know if I'm going to get off a plane, get dropped on the street, and then just go from there. So, it's not going to be much fun, is it? Thinking about it. These are ice terraces. But you can see, look, no rain, no ice. So, a lot of places in Philippines don't get that much rain. And you think rainy season, it rains all the time in Philippines. Rainy season, guys, it just rains for an hour, maybe a day or two, but it hardly ever rains, to be honest. And that rainy season, I actually love that rainy season. It's nice and it's cool. So, dropping back off into England, UK, it's not going to be much fun, is it, to be honest, let's face it. Basically homeless and on the streets. And have I got any ideas? I've got 1 or 2 ideas, but you're just going to have to survive, because and that's what really makes me laugh. Government, if you went to sign on unemployment, they've always got this idea you've got somewhere to live. They've always got this idea you've got a phone, and they've always got this idea that you've got a car or a vehicle. Well, for me, not so. And I probably won't have a phone by the time I get back to UK. I'll have no way to charge it. This phone's not very good anymore. But what am I actually going to do? Like I said, I've got some plans. But like I said, it's not going to be very, very easy, is it? Now, one of the first things I'll do is monetize this channel, and a few people go, well, you're not getting much money off you're not getting much money off your YouTube channel. Well, that's as much as you know. You know, learn how it works. Right, so I will do okay off YouTube sooner or later, but you know, when I get dropped in England, it's not going to be, you know, it's not going to be enough money anyway, nowhere near enough money to survive. So I'll just keep working on that. But to be honest, go back to England, start to work, you know. So honestly, God knows. What will I do? God knows. Will I do something? Yeah, I'll do something. And then we've got all these problems by the sounds on it in England. And you know, I'm sure I'm going to get involved with all this, you know, these asylum seekers. I'm sure I'm going to get involved in that one way or another. But you know, nowhere to live, nowhere to go. You know, it's not like here in Philippines. You could just go onto a bit of land and you could build a cabin or buy a kubo. You could build somewhere to live. You can't do that in England. There ain't enough land. And if you did do this in England, they'd form police and there'd be a helicopter up. I'm not joking. And they'd come and smash it down and they'd arrest you. And landowner would come out. So you just can't do that. In some places you could do it, but then you're too far out of society. So that's what I thought. You know, it's just a case of this, right? When I do get back to England and I get dropped somewhere in England, I have absolutely no idea to start with what I'm actually going to be doing, what I'm going to do. Probably look for a job. I'll survive, that's for sure. One way or another I'll survive, but you know, it's not so easy. And you know, leaving here, Philippines, right, I've got an house here in Philippines, got a motorbike will get sold and that'll just go towards me damn fine or whatever. Now the house, thinking about the house, you know, Jovelyn lives in the house. We've got 2 dogs. If I sell the house, where do the dogs live? And where does Jovelyn live? So we've got a problem. We've got a dilemma there, a big problem. So that I have to really think, and it's okay. You know, I have to think, what am I actually going to do? You know, right, don't watch these dogs. So what am I going to do with this house? You know, if I sell it, Jovelyn's got nowhere to live. But I do need to sell the house. At the end of the day, it's my house. And, you know, and if anything ever did really happen to me, I would like that house to go to my daughter. So, you know, here in Manila, hello, morning. So, you know, that's what I would like if anything happened to me, for that house to go to my daughter. Right, simple as that. So it's not going to be really easy, is it? You know, if I actually do sell the house, it will solve a big problem. But if I do sell the house, I have to think then, well, what happens to dogs? Do dogs just stop in province, you know, on a dirt road like this, and then they end up starving to death? Right. See, some of these dogs, they're okay if they stop where they are. It's when they run onto this road and they start to attack you. So, like I said, let me just turn camera off. See, you could build something like that in England, but it's not that simple. Morning! So, you know, it would be nice if I could actually buy a bit of land in England and build something like that, off-grid living. I've thought of everything, off-grid, our people are living off-grid. I can easily do that. I could live in a tent. But selling the house, so I sell the house. What I actually would have to do is give Jovelyn a lump sum of money, right? So she's got somewhere to live and she can rent a room and she just have to find a job. She's in a much better position than what I'm in. You know, at least she's not homeless. Morning! So at least she's not homeless and, you know, she's not in the same predicament as me. She's not homeless. She can rent a room, she can get a job, she can go to her mama's. Okay, it might not be hunky-dory, it might not be fantastic, but for me, it's just not good, is it? It's only a puppy, it's okay. You know, so for me, it's not exactly fantastic, is it? So, and you know, it's really hard to sell a house. Morning! So it's really hard to sell a house in the Philippines because a lot of people actually don't have that kind of money. 350,000 pesos. It's not a lot. You know, it's not a lot to somebody from the UK. But for someone here in Philippines, can't afford it. I mean, for me and you, we could easily do that. Now then, I'm just thinking, I've took wrong turning. Or can I get further up? Right, I ain't took wrong turning, I just wanted to cut across these fields. Yeah, woof woof. So I wanted to cut across these fields. Looks like I'm going this way. So that's it. No, it's not going to be very, very, very easy. It's going to be quite hard. You know, like I said, Jovelines, nowhere to live. So I've got to try and sell this house. Now, right, I go back to England. Joveline's still here in this house. She's going to have to sell that house. You know, it's not... Okay, it's in Joveline's name, but it's my money that's bought the house, right? So it's all my money that's bought the house, not Joveline's. So, this is to explain to you guys on YouTube. So, you know, that's what Joveline's going to have to do. If I'm not here in Philippines, you know, she's going to have to sell that house. And she's going to have to take X amount of money out of it, get a job, move into town, and she's going to have to rent a room and work. Now, a lot of guys said, what's going to happen with Joveline? I don't know what's going to happen with Joveline, right? I know what's going to happen to me. I'm going to be on the street with nowhere to live, so to speak. But let's get back to dogs and Joveline. Then, you know, she has to find somewhere for dogs to live because we can't just leave dogs to starve on Province Road. So Joveline will be okay. Now, there's a big sugarcane boy here. I don't know which way he's going. Right. Reverse camera. If he's coming this way. Morning! He's going that way. He's going to weigh in. Don't ride your motorbike. This is how far you need to be at back of a lorry. You need to be here at back of that lorry. You know, some of you guys are about 2 foot off back at lorry, and then when it comes you get killed. Right, so that's it. Joveline. Looks like that guy's doing some work. They're doing a sugarcane crop. Right, this is where I'm going to go. In fact, I'm not going to go this way. I'm going to go this way. It's a longer walk. Or do I go this way? I'll go this way. So I'm going to try and go this way. Hopefully I can get this way. I don't know. Should think I can. So that's it with Joveline. Now, I get 5 years banned. But I get blacklisted. I can't come back to the Philippines for 5 years. I'm just looking. So, you know, there's a bike Kubo here as well. So, that's it. That's it. Joveline's going to have to find an house. She's going to have to find a place to stay. She's going to have to rent a room. And actually me, I'm just going to be stuck in England. No place to go. So that's what's going to have to happen to the house. She's going to have to sell that house. If I'm in England, she will have to sell that house. Okay. A nice bit of land. It's a big piece of land. Cost about $1 million, this land. So to buy this land now here in the Philippines, this good bit of land, cost you about £1,000,000. Land here has just gone boom. And they know you foreigners are coming, and they know a lot of you foreigners are stupid, and you'll just pay £1 million, you just pay. But land's gone up anyway. But don't forget foreigner price. So that's what Jovelyn is going to have to do. You know, she's going to have to get a job, she's going to have to rent a room, and if a YouTube channel does okay, hopefully one day she'll save up and buy land and buy an house. But realistically, I'm not going to be coming back for 5 years to the Philippines, at least 3 years. So what will happen? Well, we'll probably be split up, you know, because I won't be able to come back to the Philippines. So, like I said, I actually do need Jovelyn to sell that house if I'm not here in the Philippines. And I needed to send me some money. I needed to send me the bulk of the money, but take enough, right, to last her at least 6 months renting an house for 6 months, and then a good bit of money for food. So that's her sorted out. That's Jovelyn sorted out. Because when I get back to England, there's no way, I haven't got money to send to the Philippines. And like I said, if I actually do get blacklisted, you know, I might not get blacklisted, but at the end of the day, it's going to be a couple of years. Now then, this is going back to that path. But I know I'm going right way. I'm just wondering where that house is there. Let me have a look. Because if it's going where I think it's going, it's going all the way around. I'm not going to go this way. So I've wasted my time, but I know it's a good walk, but I prefer to go this way. But I've changed my mind, because that's what we can do. I'll walk this way. Right, so that's where we stand, me and Jovelyn. You know, she has to, that's going a long way down there. And it's quite a long way to them trees. So, I'll walk this way next time. So I'm going to walk back this way. This way me and Jovelyn will actually stand. You know, like I said, we probably split up. And I'm going to be in England. I'm going to be in England at least, what? Before I can even come back to the Philippines and I've got money, it's going to be at least 2 or 3 years. And I would say it's going to be knocking on 3 years. And you know, I've got plans in England. So there's a lot of things I want to do in England. And not just England, maybe travel the world a little bit. Yeah, we can do that. Travel Europe a little bit. So that's where we are. That's a cash crop, look. So buy yourself a bit of land, plant it up, and then leave it till you get enough money to build an house on it. So then you've got to buy Kubo. You can come and work the land if you live in the city. If I were to buy a piece of land now, I would buy a piece of land in the Philippines. First thing I'd do is I'd put a fence around it. Second thing I'd do, I'd have a well dug. Oh, I'd get the well dug, right, a well. And then I'd start to plant up. Wouldn't plant up till I got water. So that's what, you know, that's where we stand, Jovelyn. You know, simple as that really. So at least, like I said, Jovelyn's okay. And she'll move on. I'll move on. Because I won't be able to come back to the Philippines for many, many years. Right. But you never know. You just never know. So I don't know. Anticipating. I'm just anticipating. Right. What's going to happen, what's not going to happen. Yeah, you can plan what you want to plan. And, you know, just cross that bridge when we get to that bridge. So that's what's really going to happen with me and Jovelyn. You know, no sugarcoating it. It's pointless sugarcoating it. You have to chat. And if you can't chat, you just go your own way, don't you? And it's as simple as that. So, like I said, not so easy. Looks like this guy's planting up, look. So he's planting all this land up. And then at least he's got a cash crop. So that's what I'm going to do when I get back to England. things will be hard for me. A lot easier for Joveline, because she'll have an house, she'll have a little bit of an income. And all this 800 quid a month, load of baloney. You can live here in Philippines, 100 quid a week, 150 quid a week, you can live good, right? And put petrol in your motorbike, 100 quid a week, you can do it. I lived on 10 quid a week for many months. You couldn't do that, right? I know you couldn't do it. You can't live without a telly, you can't live without electric. We did. And you could say, well, you didn't have any choice, did you? Well, I could have sold motorbike, couldn't I? And I would have had a bit of money that way. But you've got me drift. Joveline will actually be okay. I'm going to take this hat off, I'm sweltering. So that's it, you know, real life in the Philippines. That's what's going to happen. The foreigner's going to go back to his own country. And he's not going to be coming back to the Philippines for many years. And that house cannot be sold. You know, when it does get sold, that's what's going to really happen. Joveline's going to go back to town. Oh, you never know, she might get a job in Hong Kong. Hong Kong Fui, but I doubt it. So realistically, that's what'll actually happen. And, you know, simple as that really. Right, I'm going to walk back to the house. And I hope everyone's fine and taking care. Please like, please subscribe. Please help supporting the way of a dollar. But please share the videos. So that's it, guys. You know, like I said earlier on previous video, you always get some little arsehole, right? You know, some nasty little man, nasty little woman in life that try to belittle you, right? Never refriend a snake, okay? Never refriend a snake. Right, there's another dog. So, you know, it's not looking too bad, but you never know. So that's it. Have a great day. Take care. God bless. Here in the Philippines. Don't know what's happened to that guy's motorbike. Looks like he's got off it for some reason. Well, that's it. Morning! Morning! I've got you! Morning! It is, it's a tree frog. So what it's done, it's jumped. See? It's a tree frog. So, wow, it jumped from there. So it jumped from there across here, look, see? What he's doing. He's off, look. Green tree frog, absolutely beautiful. Now he's gone. That's your lovely moon, guys. Like I said, we had the pink moon a couple of days ago, a couple of nights ago, and the moon is really low tonight. You know, we're actually getting some lovely moons. And it's very windy, we need some rain, very windy. So, that's your lovely moon, absolutely excellent.